Hello there. My name is George Hurst. I will be your instructor for this program on how to tool a whitetail deer head in leather. For this job, I have selected a piece of good quality 6 to 7 ounce vegetable tan leather. This is because I'm just going to make a picture. If I were making a handbag, I would also use 6 to 7 ounce, or if I were doing something bigger, I would use an 8 to 9 ounce. So I have dampened the leather thoroughly so it's pretty well damp all the way through. I've dampened the front and the back. And now I have waited until the leather is beginning to return to its natural color, and then we can start our tracing. Please note I have taped our tracing film onto the leather so that I can lift it up and check my progress. First thing I'll do is make one line, and I'll look, and yes, I have a real good impression. It's not necessary to go real deep, only deep enough so that you can see it. And from time to time, you can lift it and check it. Since this is an animal head, we'll need to make sure that we trace exactly on the lines. The dotted lines we will trace as dotted lines. They will be for beveling, and for other guidelines that we'll use, all the other lines being solid lines, we'll trace those as solid lines. Here in the ear, you'll notice there are fine little hair points, so I'm using my stylus and tracing them as little hairlines. We'll see why we did that later when we do our swivel knife cutting. The next step will be to do the cutting with the swivel knife. I'll start with this ear because general rule in figure carving is you cut the foremost objects first, and the ear being the closest thing, I will cut it first. And you'll notice here I'm doing some short little cuts. And I'll do the same thing on the inside of the ear. Short little cuts, as you can see. These are hairy endings, so we'll show you how to deal with those. And now we'll continue our cutting. We will cut, here again I'm cutting the foremost objects first. The next thing here is these antlers, so I will cut the antlers. I'm cutting about halfway through the thickness of the leather, and notice I'm using a 1/4 inch angle blade, which is the best to use for figure carving. To do the eye, I will very carefully start out light and then cut a little deeper and cut the upper eyelid first. Notice I'm making a little turn at the tear ducts. Keep in mind that a deer's eye is not exactly round. It's more oval And now we will continue cutting. We'll do the rest of the head here. And now we will do the backside ear. Here again, for the inner part of the ear, we'll make short little hair ending cuts. And the last thing we'll cut is the nostril. Very carefully. And this is what our deer looks like after we have done the swivel knife cutting. Next we will do the beveling, and we'll do that with a figure carving beveler, as you can see, and we'll use that to form the contours of the, in this case, the ear, and then I will form the jaw, and then I will come in here and do some contour along the neck. Up here I will do the outline of the other side of the ear, and I will do some outlining here to form the nose and the side of the face. And I will now separate the ear on the left side of the head. Now I will switch to a checkered beveler, and I will use the checkered beveler all around the outside. Everywhere there's background now, I will use the checkered beveler. As you can see, this will separate the head from the background. When we get to the mouth, don't be tempted to bevel in the mouth. If you do that, you'll give the deer a tremendous overbite, which will not look right. And of course, the beveling we're also doing from front to back. We'll bevel the foremost object first, or the foremost lines first. You'll notice I did the ear. And then we'll do the rest of the head, and we will now continue beveling. I'm now going to take a larger beveler and bevel along the dotted line that's down here at the base, and I'm beveling this to the inside just to make the effect like the deer head is coming out of the leather. So now we will continue beveling all of the lines where our subject makes contact with the outside. For instance, the ear, it's on the left side. I can bevel that now.